Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. So in today's video we will be learning how to make this elegant bridal veil. This length is actually the fingertip length, but you can use the same idea for whatever length you want to use. So the materials I used were the softnet, a little bit for embellishing, and your comb, veil comb. So let's get right into it. This is the softnet that I will be using. I chose the softest type of softnet. That is what I'll be using, and that is what you see me holding here. Yep, I'm actually working around like 1.5 yard because I wanted it to be a fingertip. The fingertips actually, we don't have a specific exact measurement because everyone is like our height differs, and this person's height cannot be used for someone who is quite smallish or quite taller. So I wouldn't be adding figures to it. Just get the understanding. These softness normally comes out with these, kind of nice but messed up endings. I really don't like using these endings with my veils. I just try to take them off any other time I'm using these softness. No matter what I'm doing, I just take that thing off. Like the ends have these folds and I don't like that, so I actually take them off, as you can see here. So I'm literally taking everything off from both sides. Both sides really have that. So here the ends are out, and I'm actually going to fold it into two, right, so that I could get the tip of it. That's why you see me doing here, arranging them into two. You can see the difference, right? This is how it was supposed to be, and I cut it off and it looking very, very cleaner. So that was the difference. So here in this section is actually me folding it into two, just so that I could have the perfect elegant tip I need at the end of the day. So that is what you see me doing here, trying my best to make sure that I can get to fold them and have it in that section. But when you're folding it, you fold it in the length that is going to be on the floor, but not the length of, like, not the width, but the length section, right? Yeah, so if it is 3 inches, you actually fold it in that ends, right, but not the other way around. So that is what you see me doing here. And one of the tips I can actually advise you do is to get this type of ink that vaporizes when heat gets in contact with it. So this pen, as soon as it gets vaporized or comes in contact with heat, like, it just vanishes, like it just leaves the fabric. And that is what I use for the soft net. So here you see me folding it in that section, like into two folds, taking the pen out so that I could do the perfect drawing, right? So here you get your tape measure to get to know the inches you want for the front and the inches you would need for the back. So this I actually use like 30 inches for the front. Yeah, I think 30 inches for the front. And here I was actually doing the calculations to see which section would start, which section would add, just making sure I was going to get like the length I needed. And when it comes to veil too, there are two different types of veils. When it comes to like the formation of it, you could have the ones that have just the back, the tulle, and the one that has the front. So depending on the type you would want, you can either make them into two on it, or you just make it singularly. So here in this section, that is what you see me doing. I wanted to have a curved tip. So after it has been folded into two widthwise, I just make sure that I gave it that curve. That was what you saw there. So that when it opens, it actually give you like the shape of like something like a C, like a very curved, C, but not too deeply curved. So that is what you see me using my pen to do. You can decide to also use your chalk. That'll be fine. Whatever markings you have available, you can use them. So here in this section, you can see I'm trying my best to get the cut out, to take all the cut there, but I'm really staring at it to make sure that I'm getting like the right measurement there, or the right curve there. So that is the curve you see me getting there. And this is how it is looking. You cut the edges out like that. That is it. It's cool when the tips have like that kind of C curved shape. It gives it like a whole different professional look, right? So it is always a plus if you would actually go by that. So here in this section, I was trying my best to see how like the whole curve is looking. Like, do you get the vibe of how the whole curve looked? That is it. So that is going to be the front section, and you're going to be repeating the same process at the back. So here I had to use the pins to stabilize the softnet. It's not easy working around softnet. Just the wind can just blow everything all over, and you don't want that. So it is best you get your pins around you, make sure they are intact so that you can just pin them and the wind wouldn't mess up with you. Especially where my studio is actually at, like I have this table in front of the shop, so that is where I do it, and the wind really do have that effect on it, so it just keeps on blowing, and I try my best to make sure I use the pins. So this is the other side of it as well, so I'm giving out that curve shape. I think here in this section you will see it properly, like really properly. This is the shape I want. So this is folded one, but when it opens you're gonna have it like a C, right? So that is what you see here in the section. Yep. So I'm cutting it out, cutting. Do you see how the curve looks? That is what we've been trying to achieve on these two sections. But hey, if this is your first time seeing my channel, hi, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you. But don't forget to turn on your notification, and also don't forget to like this video and share. So this is the middle of it, right? This is the middle of the whole view. I've already demarcated the section for the back, which will be at the wrist, and the front that will be like covering the face and might be actually at your elbow. So here I pick my thread and needle. I will be doing like hand stitches with this. You can choose to use your machine for this process, but I just don't want to take that risk. When it comes to softnet, is extremely soft. The name says it all. It's very soft, so you try your best to be at the safe side when you're dealing with this very delicate fabric, right? Yeah. So you pick up your thread and needle like you see me doing, pull it through, open it into two sections. Because I've already given out the markings at where it would be, here I'm taking the pins out. Like I would get to know where I'll be doing that hand stitching, right? And here's our forms are actually out. You can send me a message on WhatsApp. I do taking students, I do taking apprentices. If you want to learn online as well, I do. So this is also the bridal comb, right? This is the bridal comb that I'll be using for the veil. So here you see me doing these hand stitches, as you can see here. So that is where I'll be sewing. This is actually the middle part of it. You leave some inches at the left section and the right section. You just make sure you tackle like some inches in the middle, just so that you can have that flowy effect from the face to the other sections. You know, you don't want to tackle like the whole thing, but you just want to leave a little bit of flow at the other ends as well. So that is what you see me doing here. I'm using my thread and needle to do that. You can use whatever needle you have available at your end. It doesn't necessarily have to be this long. I just love working around these long nails, you know, so you can use whatever size that you have for this, pretty much. Yep. So this is what you see me doing here. Because I've actually had that marking net, I know where the straight line is going. That is why you see me, like, you know, I'm not just assuming. I just drew the line early on, and I'm, you know, hand sewing it just so that I could have that stitches there, right? That's what you see me doing here. Kindly do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell as well. So here, this is the gathers I'm doing here, right? This is the little gathers I'm doing in the middle. Yeah, as you can see, this is how it is looking. So it is really coming into being. If you can really get the concept of it, it is really coming into being like that. You pull it and then you find your gathers there. And here I wanted to cover up the comb. You know, I'm covering up where I'll be sewing the net, so I actually got some inches of the net. That is what I used to cover up. So I'm getting like an inch of the net like the width is like an inch, and then I would just take the folded section out. I just don't like using it. It just makes it so obvious that's where it ends. So that is what you see me doing here, pulling it in between the comb, sorry. So I just use this technique. I just wrap it around the net. As you can see here, I'm just wrapping around it like that. I'm just wrapping the soft net around the hair comb. And hey, I will be leaving my link in the description, my WhatsApp link, and all my other social media platforms. Don't forget to follow me on IG, TikTok, and all other social media platforms. I will be extremely grateful to see you there as well. Yeah, so here I'm folding it up because it has already been gathered there, as you can see, right? I'm just trying to make sure I stabilize it, put it on, and then sew it on it, as you can see here. So this has been stabilized. I'm just sewing the soft net on the comb, as you can see here. So I use this to also give it that get firmed with the comb, so that we just wouldn't be any form of distraction. So you see me doing all the hand sewing and all the hand stitching. So the materials you would actually need, I think I have to say it again, is your bridal veil comb. You need your soft nets or whatever nets you want, whatever color you would prefer. You would need, if you want to use like applique for the tips, you can also use the applique. But if you want to also use like pearls or beads, you can also use that. So that is what I used. I actually used the clasp back. But here you see me actually attaching the soft net to the comb here. That is the process. You try to do your best to make sure it is as firm as it's supposed to be, like extremely firmed. That is why you actually being the one sewing it on it. You can decide to glue it on it, but I just wouldn't advise you deal with glues. If you can actually hand sew it, why not? But if you can't, you just would be fine to also go in by the gluing. You just get your gathers together, make sure it's very stabilized, and then you glue it on your comb. That would also be fine as well. But here you see me actually sewing it together like so. Just sewing it together and making sure it is extremely tight. That is the best thing you can do. You don't want your projects going out or your things going out and it has a lot of issues, people complaining. So you have to make sure that it can be as firm as it can be. And then here I'm tying the threads, right, just so that it can have like that stability. Yeah, I will be leaving the other side of it for the embellishment. But here, this is how it is looking, right? You can decide to just use this without any applique and your veil is ready. But I just wanted to add a little bit of some embellishment to make sure that it is looking cool. And here I was actually ironing it, steaming it, just so that all the pins in it can go off. So that is what you see me doing here. So I'm just steaming it just so that all the inks in it can just wipe off here. I needed to get this then. Like, this one is a must for you to have, right? This eyelet machine, it does so many things. I have them in stock as well. You can use them for your bead and like pearl installation. You can actually use them for eyelet installation in your corset dresses. And you can also use it for your cover buttons. So it is one machine that does a whole lot of different things. And I think it's a very cool thing or great investment. If you would invest in that, kindly do send me a message on WhatsApp to place an order as well. So here was me attaching the pearls into the soft net just to give it a bit of these fairy tale-ish kind of vibes. That is what you see me doing here. But these pearls also doesn't have holes in them, like the one that you would have to actually install with this machine. It doesn't come with holes, right? So like it's best if you're going for this. But if you just want to use like your glue and your pearl, any type of pearl, that is fine as well. but I just wanted it to come out as neat and as nice and as, like, cool as it can be. That is why I got this machine to actually install my pearls in it. This is how it is looking like at the end of the day. Don't forget to send me a message on WhatsApp for all inquiries. And yes, I do sew bridal gowns, kente gowns, and stuff. I'll be leaving the playlist in the description as well, so you can contact me so that I can work on your beautiful, elegant bridal gowns, or either kente gowns or your normal regular dresses. I'm open to that. Just keep me busy. So when you attach these pearls to your veil, it just gives it a whole different vibe. But you can decide to use applique as well, or lasers. Yeah, for that. This is how the thing is dripping. Can you see that effect? Like the pearl effect, like the curves. This is it. I think you're a pro. If you've watched it till this section, I think you are a pro. You can do whatever bridal veil you get. Like, you can do it. You're a pro now. If you truly watch this video till this section, you're a pro. Congratulations. I think you should get your own shop or like your own website to be selling these, because you are a pro. For just watching this video, I know and I believe you can do more than this. Thank you very much for watching till this section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it.